Hmm. 2018 has literally been a year when the WWE has really shown their moments of desperation, especially when it comes to the big dog, Roman Reigns. They've been so desperate this year because they know that him beating Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania 34 would have led to them being in the path of they're like, now what do we do with him? So what happened? Well, you have him lose to Brock, and then you have him just do whatever for the next few months and just continues to water down the product because you were that desperate to make him the biggest star in the company. In your eyes, you thought he succeeded. You did not. So when you think it can't get any worse, you think that, him beating Braun Strowman is going to make the crowd unhappy. So you bring in Mick Foley to be special guest referee, which again, I still respect because, it's a 20th anniversary of his iconic moment. But then you go as far as having an inconclusive ending to a Hell in a Cell match. So what was the point of it? Is Braun Strowman still able to have his Money in the Bank contract? And why on earth? I'll get into that towards the end. But guys, what is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993. I'm coming at you for my live review of WWE Hell in a Cell 2018. It took place tonight at the AT&T Center in San Antonio, Texas. As always, we're going to take a look back at everything that happened, including the pre-show match. So I actually got to watch the pre-show match, and I actually really liked the pre-show match. But overall, though, this show was going really good, I felt. Until after the WWE Championship match. Then the show just kind of dipped a little bit in quality. The mixed tag match was what it was. I felt it should have been a little bit better than it was. I didn't have any high expectations for the Raw Women's Championship match. And then the main event. We'll get into that towards the end. So I apologize for coming in late. I do also want to apologize. I did kind of lie a little bit. I originally was going to do 3 live reactions during the show tonight. I was going to do one during Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton inside Hell in a Cell, the SmackDown Live Women's Championship match, and AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. But I have my friend Daniel Geiza over, who's on YouTube here as well, and he wanted to do live reactions as well for the 2 Hell in a Cell matches. So to be fair, I gave him the 2 Hell in a Cell matches, which we did those live reactions on his channel, and I did my 2 live reactions of Becky and Charlotte and Styles and Joe on my channel as well. So that's what happened there. And also the reason why this restart a little bit late is because I stuck around and, was the special guest on Dan's live review. We had a good time with that. So that's why I'm a little bit late here. But guys, I'm here once again to talk about Hell in a Cell. I'm sorry, since I have the mic in my hand. Hell in a Cell. Also, if you don't notice, I'm also wearing my new WWE Shop T-shirt, the Undisputed Era shirt. And if you didn't see the what's it called now? The unboxing video I made for it last night. Check it out. Again, it was a special last week for $15. I've been wanting to get this shirt for a long time, and my birthday is this coming Saturday. So I thought, you know what? Treat myself to an early birthday present. So that. So it should be a fun week for me as getting the end with my birthday. I'll be 25. Can't believe it. But without further ado, I've talked enough in this introduction. Let's get into Hell in a Cell. But first, as always, it looks like we have like 9 viewers in this live chat. Let's see who is all here and let's talk and see what we got. We got Royal Information. What is up, Royal? Good to have you on the stream. Dakota says it was good, but Orton shouldn't have kicked out of the swanton on a chair. It should have been a normal swanton, he said. And Robbie, who had a great line at the end of the SmackDown Live Women's Championship match, saying, "Glad you liked his look at a little Flair Jr. Gonna cry." Yep, from that taken from Spider-Man 2. Whenever was it 2 or no, 3? I'm sorry, Spider-Man 3. Whenever the original series with Toby Maguire, whenever Harry and Peter were brawling, he goes, "Look at little Goblin Jr. Gonna cry." Same thing happened with Charlotte and Becky. It's like, Robbie, you definitely have my line of the night. I'd say we have Tia Coupon, what's up, saying hello everyone. Roy says the SmackDown matches delivered and were all good for the most part. I do need to catch the New Day Rusev Day match. That wasn't too bad. Again, that match, again, I actually did like the story they told on that pre-show match. Everybody's saying hello to each other. Dakota's got work at 10:30. He saw only both cell matches, which, yeah, the first one was good. The second one, but the first 3 matches are definitely my top 3 matches of the night. The WWE Championship match was kind of like, for the most part, let's see here. I would say the Hell in a Cell match was my favorite. Raw Tag Titles was second. Third was the SmackDown Women's Championship match. The fourth was the WWE title match. Then I would say the mixed tag, the Hell in a Cell match, and then my least favorite match was the Raw Women's Championship match. Well, if you want to throw New Day and Rusev Day in there, I'd say that's probably right in the middle also. But that was still a good match as well. Again, this show was on path to being like a pay-per-view of the year candidate, in my opinion, for the main roster at least. But the second half tanked a little bit, unfortunately. But we will get into that. We will definitely talk about that screw drive spot. We definitely will. The best match was Orton versus Hardy, Dakota claims. And we got King Larry. What's up, Larry? He says, Roman's match ruined the pay-per-view for me. Shouldn't have watched it. 4 out of 10 thanks to that stupid ending. And hello, everybody. He says, well, good to have you back on, Larry. Thank you guys for joining the live chat, guys. And let's get started with this live review, as I've talked a lot. So first, let's start off with the pre-show match, because I actually did watch this pre-show match. It was the New Day and Rusev Day for the SmackDown Live Tag Titles. Now, going to this match, I picked New Day to win this match, because I felt that, you know, if New Day really are going to eventually have the most reigns as tag champions, obviously I don't want to keep seeing them having just, you know, little 3-week, you know, runs. So they deserve at least, you know, a month or 2, I'd say, as champions. I'd say make their title reign feel a little more legit, not just, you know, just going hot potato with them all the time. Because of course, then it's going to look like, you know, Sasha Banks, who never retained her championship in a defense at all. Now she's been nowhere close to the championship since, which is a shame. But we have this situation here where, you know, Rusev Day obviously has gained momentum. The story of them, you know, having, you know, Aiden English costing them their matches, to them eventually, you know, having Aiden English, you know, actually succeeding in helping them with their matches. And then they had, so then they got into the tag title picture, and to my surprise, again, they beat the Bar last week. So they got this match. Now, here's the thing. I didn't want Rusev Day to come out there looking like idiots, being like, oh, you know, like they lost the match, but they have nothing going forward for them. No, they actually did tell a story here with it. Them looking like, you know, so the turning point of the match came when Aiden English tagged himself into the match. And he's kind of telling Rusev a little bit what to do. So he tries to do the frog splash. Kofi backs off. Then we have Aiden English to the frog splash. He succeeds. And then he tries to pull off the accolade. He tries to do Rusev's accolade. Of course, it looked kind of weak, I'll be real. Of course, that's probably was supposed to look good because it's Aiden English. Telling a story of him, obviously, letting it into his head, hey, you know, I'm actually succeeding here with all this, so let me take the lead here, getting overzealous, and that's what costed them the match. Kofi Kingston eventually had trouble in Paradise, and the New Day would retain their SmackDown Live tag titles. Now, why was this match on the pre-show? I still don't know. The show was still about 3 hours and 40 minutes long, even with just 7 matches on the main card. They did give these guys, though, on the main card, though, at least a good amount of time. Well, for the most part, one match in particular I thought went on way too long. That was the Raw Women's title match, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But New Day retained. You know, that's what I thought was going to happen. I mean, I wouldn't have been upset if Rusev Day won, but, you know, obviously it was just too early for New Day to drop the tag titles. And, you know, at least, you know, had Rusev Day coming out of there with like a story, obviously. Aiden English getting a little, you know, overzealous and, you know, just getting a little fooled. So, like, oh, I could do this all now. And he cost his team the match. So that's what happened there. And Kofi Kingston gets the pinfall of victory. So that was the pre-show match. Let's check the live chat once again. Nothing really new. Larry saying he'll have a good time. I did. Dakota says, wasn't the first cell match like 25 to 30 minutes long? It was about 25 minutes on the dot, I believe. What I say? Yeah, it was a long match, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Like I say, that's what we actually opened up with on the main show, was Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton inside Hell in a Cell. I was definitely a little scared for this match going into it, because first, I knew Jeff was going to try to pull off some type of Daredevil stunt, which he did, not as extreme as I thought it was going to be, but it was still, something Daredevil. I also worried that this match was going to be a little bit limited due to the fact that obviously Jeff Hardy's body is starting to break down. So I thought they might play a little bit more safe for this match and make it more of like an average to decent match than like an awesome match that ended up being. But this match, well, first off, before I get into the match, leave your thoughts also what you guys thought of the cell being red. I personally didn't mind at all. I actually thought it was an interesting touch. How we're trading, what the structure symbolizes, hell, burn, and fire pretty much and whatnot. The only thing I was worried about first, what if we won't be able to really see well inside the cell, but we were. So I actually liked the Hell in a Cell being red. So let's see what you guys think of it as well. But yeah, these guys just told the story there. It was a brutal match. They used the cell well. They utilized weapons with some chairs, a couple tables, ladders in there as well. Of course, Randy Orton. Again, this was one of the best matches involving Randy Orton I have seen in a long time, I gotta say. In a very, very long time. Because, think about it. His match with Hardy at Backlash, it's kind of average. It wasn't really that great at all. He was in the U.S. title run. Those matches weren't really that great. Then you got sidetracked with that stuff with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. So yeah, he really has not had a great match in quite a while. Let me think back. I'm trying to think. Last time I thought Randy Orton really had a great match because he was being booked in in some bland babyface material, which again, it's not his fault, but it's obviously Orton's first match on pay-per-view as a heel. He was in his element, and of course, I knew he was going to do something with the ear, as he'd been targeting Jeff Hardy's pierced ear for quite some time. But he goes even further, breaks out a toolbox. He grabs a screwdriver. And I'm like, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh, don't even tell me he's going to do what I think he's doing. And he did. He got in there. And after Jeff Hardy, at this point, has, taken some shot. He even got, his head, inserted into a ladder. And Orton was, smashing the ladder down on him and whatnot there as well. So Jeff's taking quite the beating at this point. And Orton even had a couple, little cuts on as well. We actually saw some blood tonight, guys. Nothing too extreme, but in a good amount of the matches, we saw some blood. And this one we did too. So he goes over, he holds Hardy down, he goes for the ear, he inserts the screwdriver into the ear. He gets it halfway into the ear. I think he tried to twist it a little bit. If you thought him just pulling on the ear was nasty with a screwdriver there, I was like, ugh. It looked painful, but again, it was effectively cringeworthy. And then, of course, I think he actually twisted around, but it was that effective that literally, whenever Hardy got Orton off him and got the screwdriver out of his ear, it looked like they had literally stretched out the earlobe. I'm just like, oh gosh! But then, he sets up the ladders and a table. And it's obvious that, he set up for his extreme moment. There had to be some type of extreme moment. Of course, a lot of us thought he was going to jump off Hell in a Cell. I went as far as saying he's going to do a swanton bomb off the top of the cell, and Orton would fall off with an arcade. Okay, that's a little, Jeff would die if that happened. So, but obviously, this match did not go outside the cell. So Hardy went up. He set up a small ladder and a big ladder, and then Orton was laid out on the table. And it looked like he was going to do one of those, frog leaps, over the big ladder and then, land into the table. Well, then he goes to the top ladder, to the high ladder. And I didn't think this, but he obviously didn't have enough room to do a swanton bomb off the top ladder because the ceiling was too low from the cell. So then he grabs on top of the cell and starts swinging around. I thought, oh, he's trying to get some momentum or something like that to, just like kind of flip in the air and come down and land on Orton through the table. That's what was going to happen. Well, then he just lets go and tries to, do like a splash down onto the table. Well, first off, the only little nitpick I have about this match is I don't know if Orton timed it wrong, but he rolled off the table too early. And Hardy just let himself go, and he fell down to the splash right through the table. I thought either, one, Orton was going to roll off as soon as Hardy let go, which I feel maybe he thought Hardy let go at one point, and that's when he rolled off. Or he was going to, I thought was going to happen was, which is going to be tough to practice, he was going to, he was going to hit Hardy the RKO as he was coming down, but it didn't happen. And afterwards, first they were saying, Hardy's no condition to compete. So Orton, being the heel wisely, just rolls over and it starts yelling at the referee, do your job. Come on, do the count. Do your job. He's no condition. He's like, do your job. But he still counts it. And just the way I ripped it, Jeff Hardy's Daredevil stuff, which is going to make him look like an ultimate badass pretty much, was still going to cost him the victory as Randy Orton does get the victory, which I feel was definitely deserved. So that way he can keep doing, these heel tactics and not look like an idiot for continuing them if he would lose. But I think both of these guys becoming a winner. Jeff Hardy looking awesome, taking the shots he did. Of course, he did hit a swanton bomb on Orton with a chair, but Orton kicked out of that. Obviously, it showed that wasn't enough, and he had to go to more extreme. So I mean, he couldn't just do just a regular swanton bomb and just go. It's like if you go from easy to hard. Obviously, it seemed like easy was just a regular swanton bomb. Medium was just a chair, which I'm sure Orton's taking how many chair shots in his life, and hard was the big one from up high. So that's Hardy just had to go up to the extreme. But unfortunately, it kind of costed him a little bit. So Orton wins the match again. That's who I felt should have gone over. And we'll see what's next for these two as well. Randy Orton's Randy Orton's going to start making his pitch to eventually get back into the title scene. We'll see what happens down the line. So Randy Orton wins the opening Hell in a Cell match. It was awesome. Again, probably my match of the night, I felt. Very good work here by Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy. Let's see here. Let's see here. I think we were at here. Everybody's put up for the thumbs up of the live stream. Yes. Yeah, the screwdriver to Jeff's ear was definitely. King Larry describing it as a horror movie. I love it. I'm still a little bit shocked. The cell looked weird with the new red color. Not a completely horrible decision, but just weird. It was all right, but again, it wasn't like anything like, oh, this is awesome. It's like, all right, something new. All right. Apparently Matt retired, and the red gives the cell a little more of an attitude feel. Larry didn't mind the red, a little bit strange, but it was okay. And yes, he's no longer Blandy Borton. Wonder if they will paint the cell blue next year. Oh, yeah, it was like, they'll have red for the Raw Hell in a Cell match and blue for the SmackDown Live one. You watch, they'll have eventually they'll have a NXT one will be yellow and 205 Live will be purple. No, I'm getting a little too far here for that. But yeah, the last good match with Orton was against Styles. That's right, the match they had for this match against Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. Yeah, he thinks I got 6 out of 8 correct tonight. I believe so. Thank you for that, Larry. Taking our point of our great reactions when Orton used a screwdriver. Yes, definitely. You got to check that out. Yeah, thank God Jeff didn't lose his ear, have his earlobe cut in half due to the graphic nature of that screwdriver spot. I cringed badly watching it live. It was definitely hard to watch, but yeah, it was effective though. Jeff has an abominable injury and was coughing up blood. That's what I heard. Yeah, hopefully he's all right. Yeah, Jeff did kind of kill himself, but he did in the end. At least he didn't paint the Hell in a Cell pink in honor of breast cancer awareness. Yeah, that would have been a little too far, I agree. What's up, Cody? Hatajic, if I'm pronouncing that correct. Orton had great matches with Cesaro. I'm trying to think. I remember him having a match with Cesaro in 2014. Can't remember when else, but I'll definitely take your word for it as well. But I remember their match before Elimination Chamber in 2014. That was a good match, and I'm glad Orton did put over Cesaro in that match. And Dakota Hurt, apparently it may have been Jeff's last match I mean, if it was, then he went out strong. Obviously, he had us cross that off his bucket list. So if that was the case, then that's awesome. But we'll see what happens. I'll continue on the review. Keep stuff coming in the live chat, guys. So that was awesome. That was awesome as well. Let's see here. We have AJ Styles being interviewed backstage. He says that Samoa Joe wants to talk about his family. He can't wait for this match to start, and he's laser focused for the talking to end and the fighting to start. He's walking in as champion, ripping Joe's heart out of his chest, and walking out as champion because this is the house that AJ Styles built. But next, we had the SmackDown Live Women's Championship match, Charlotte versus Becky Lynch. The match, this is a match I thought could have been a show stealer. It was definitely in the top 3 for matches of the night, I felt. I was fine with the pace it was at because obviously this isn't the only match they're going to be having. They're having a match at Super Showdown and they're having another match at Evolution, which I wish was the main event, but it most likely will not be. So although I predicted Becky to win, I was not so sure she was going to win. The match, though, I told the good story of, the two of them, just bringing the best out of each other pretty much. Obviously, Becky, it's not like, just dilly down around. Like, she's serious about this, and she's going to overcome it all. So, her and Charlotte had some good back and forth action. Becky did work well on the arm because obviously she wanted to get Charlotte into the disarmer to get her to tap out. But instead, we had a finish where I thought at first Charlotte kicked out. I did not think that Becky had Charlotte at this point. Charlotte went for a spear, but then Becky had this sick-looking reversal into a pinfall. And again, I thought at first Charlotte kicked out, but she didn't, and Becky won the title, which is great because Becky deserves that championship, obviously, and obviously her moment was stolen at SummerSlam. And the match, again, I thought was good. Again, as I said before, this is definitely the first of at least 3 matches they're probably going to have. They'll probably have this match, Super Showdown, and Evolution, which I wish was a main event, but it's probably going to be Ronda and Nikki. It probably will be, and I'm not interested in that match at all whatsoever. But I like how finally this was good, but it wasn't like too good that the fact that it would outdo the other 2 matches that these two are eventually going to have. So I was very pleased with how well this match went. I knew these two put on a great match, told a great story there. Afterwards, Charlotte got up and first thinking, will this be the double turn? But Charlotte went over, and of course, as Robbie first would say, look at little Flair Jr. Gonna cry? Well, it wasn't quite that. As Charlotte got up, she went over to Becky, went to shake her hand, and raised her arm out of respect, saying, hey, you deserve this. You earned it. It's trying to call peace. But Becky's like, no, I don't want that. I worked my butt to get back here, and, I'm not backing down and letting this, slip away from me again. Once again, do you blame Becky for doing that with everything she's been through the past 2 years just to get back on top of this women's division? That double turn needs to come, guys. It will come. But once again, at least, Becky, again, is being serious about this. She did bash the crowd. She got a good reaction, whatnot, and she put on a great match with Charlotte. That's all I asked for. It was awesome, and Becky Lynch is now a 2-time SmackDown Live Women's Champion. So congratulations, Becky Lynch. Definitely well-deserved. I look forward to seeing what's next in the Becky Lynch and Charlotte feud, as Becky's now your new SmackDown Live Women's Champion. Let's see here. What do we got? Here in the live chat, we got Larry does think this is definitely one of Jeff's last matches for sure. We got High Bye with 2 question marks. What's up, High Bye? Cody says Jeff said he wanted to face Demon Finn Balor before he retired. That would be an awesome match. Taker said Rob will give me ideas at all. Larry laughs, and of course, Robbie again puts over, look at little Flair Jr. Gonna cry. I loved it. Becky did it. Yes, Evolution, hopefully Becky versus Charlotte in a last woman standing match. Sure, I'd like that. The Codex, the main event is going to be Trish and Alexa. Obviously, I would rather have that be the main event than Ronda and Nikki. I would definitely have that be the main event. But I definitely still think it should be Becky and Charlotte. And I'll take Tia Couponer's idea of a last woman standing match. It would work. I think so. Evolution equals a Charlotte heel turn time. Please, WWE. I agree, Larry. You know the Undertaker is the heel and Triple H is the face at Super Showdown. You really think he is? I'm not too sure which one it is, but again, I still don't. I'm not really interested in that match at all. But I don't know where that match is going. And last week's promo with Triple H didn't even sell me at all. It just made things so weird. But yeah, I'm not really going to get into that one right now. But thanks for for mentioning that, and with how cocky Taker is and Triple H isn't. I mean, I just feel that there were more strategic match between Taker and HBK than Triple H and Taker, because I don't have any interest in seeing it. So yeah, I don't know where they're really going, though. Let's see what happens tomorrow night on Raw when Taker apparently returns to respond to. I don't get how this is all personal between Triple H and Undertaker just because Shawn Michaels said he picks Triple H over the Undertaker. Don't get it. And he thinks Triple H will finally beat him. He could. We'll see. So, anyways, we get an update on Jeff Hardy saying that he has been transported to not a hospital, a local medical facility with severe abdominal pain. We see a backstage segment with New Day celebrating their victory. Mr. Bootyworth rolls up with some champagne, and Kofi is nowhere to be found, but Kramer Kingsman rolls up to interview them about what's next for the New Day. But he says they're going down under in 3 weeks to wrestle the Bar, but tonight they celebrate. But he gets a Gatorade cooler full of pancakes and dumps them all over Mr. Bootyworth. Then we have cage side seats. Please stop referring to this. Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre, a.k.a. Braun Strowman's Dogs of War, taking on Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins from The Shield, even though they came out as themselves and not The Shield. This match, I thought, it was going to be good. I did expect it to be as good as it ended up being. I mean, the first half was just, standard of what I expected from this match. Solid action. But obviously going into this, again, I wanted Ziggler and McIntyre to retain, because it was way too soon to drop the tag titles. And, they've definitely been, two of my most improved superstars this year on the uprise. They've been a very dominating unit, but I feel they still need something to make them feel a little bit more legit. And it's obvious you weren't going to have Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose like idiots in this match either. So it's normal tag action back and forth, but things seem to really pick up and get even more heated. And you can tell how personal this rivalry is getting between these four. Whenever Ambrose made a tag on Rollins, but the ref didn't see it thanks to a distraction. And then just everybody was going everywhere. There were some great near falls towards the end. Rollins kicked out of a zigzag. McIntyre kicked out of a frog splash. Ambrose kicked out of something else. There was a lot of near falls towards the end of this match. And then I thought we were going to see the Claymore zigzag. We didn't see that. But again, things just getting crazy. The crowd was just getting fired up, which this crowd at the beginning, in the middle of the show, kind of sucked. But this match, they were just on fire. They gave these guys 22 minutes and 50 seconds. I looked up the time. This match was 22 minutes and 50 seconds. And you know what? It all felt worth it. And it got to a point where it's you really didn't know which two was going to win. As I said before, Ziggler McIntyre obviously just felt needed some other big victory to make them look dominating, but you didn't want to make Ambrose and Rollins look like idiots either in the match. So I felt it was near falls, made them look dominating, and then the way they had them win, it looked like Rollins was going to a Falcon Arrow. McIntyre came out of the blue, hit a Claymore on him for him to pick up the victory. So I think Dolph was the legal man, I believe. But just so much back and forth action. Again, the Shield brought out, Rollins and Ambrose brought out the best in Ziggler and McIntyre. They made them look like $1 billion, and which I'm happy, because Dolph Ziggler obviously, deserves, to be, treated more better. Drew McIntyre has been deserved to be dominating since his return, and just improved himself on the Indies and TNA and whatnot. I think this match made them, legitimate contenders, top stars on the Raw brand. Of course, even, made a tag team in the Raw tag team, which actually looked more legit, because everybody else is, because think about it, who could really beat them at this point? Who? Authors of Pain? Not yet. I'm sorry, AOP, because they don't even call them Authors of Pain, or they call them AOP on Raw. led by the 205 Live general manager Drake Maverick. But yeah, this is probably my second favorite match tonight, though. Again, the Raw Tag Title match was awesome. I loved it. I thought they delivered big time, and they made Ziggler and McIntyre look like dominating badasses. So that is my thoughts on the Raw Tag Title match. Scroll down before I check the live chat again. Let's see here. We've got the live chat going again. If anyone is cocky, if anyone is cocky, then it's Triple H, he feels. Taker is no heel, but everybody has their opinion, so you're cool. Do you think we get that Taker versus Michaels? Also, Lashley has a manager, Leo Rush. They really are going with that. I don't know. I'm not too crazy about that. I think they should have had Rollins and Ambrose win so they could hold all the belts. That is true, but I still felt it was too soon for Ziggler or McIntyre to drop them, I felt. Main event should have been the Shield versus Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler, and Braun at Hell in a Cell for every title. I agree. It should have been at least a 6-man tag match, but not, because we'll talk about it later. Yeah, again, I don't get it, Dakota, either. It makes no sense why Drake Maverick is the GM of 205 Live, but the heel manager of AOP makes no sense at all. But it definitely was a very good tag match, as Larry agrees with me as well. Awesome. Moving on now, we get a backstage segment with Mick Foley rolling up to Braun Strowman to tell him he better respect his authority tonight. And Braun tells him if he does his job and counts the 3, he'll do his. But trust him, you don't want to be a monster problem. We then had the WWE Championship match, AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe. This match started off pretty quickly, pretty fast. Like, it was physical, it was fast paced. Obviously, it was getting very personal with Styles. It's Joe digging deeper and deeper and deeper, and it's more so, just getting to the head of AJ Styles about his family and whatnot, and it just set AJ off the end. And then we eventually, see some great backboard action. Joe has some good spots there. My favorite spot of the match, though, was still whenever Joe did that suicide dive in between the ropes and did like a forearm strike onto AJ. And AJ took like a full blow into the announce table. That was just a really sick move, because I keep putting over how great Joe is, how agile he can be as well for a guy his size. Again, this guy literally did a flying enziguri to Seth Rollins' head in blue jeans in his main roster debut. The match did kind of slow down a little bit, though, like the last few minutes, though. But then, of course, the interesting part was the end of the match. Now, from my view at first, it looked like that, Styles, Joe went for the Coquina clutch, and Styles just rolled up, and then Joe tried to break free. And I thought it was, he got his shoulder up when the ref counted 3. That's why he was disputing. But actually, it showed in the replay, AJ did tap out. AJ did tap out on the other side where the referee could not see him tap it out. And Joe thought at first he won, but he didn't. And then he takes the title from Styles, hold it up as if he's a champion. And Styles hits like a running enziguri to his head, kick him out of the ring. Afterwards, Joe goes backstage and complains to the referee that he got the call wrong. And Paige comes a cool boss saying, hey, the call stands with us tonight, but obviously you will get another shot at championship because you're right, he did tap out at Super Showdown. So Joe's still pissed off saying he should be champion now and whatnot, which I know we're probably gonna be getting Joe on a level of where he was when he wanted his rematch against Nakamura, and he's probably going to be going after Styles even more in the coming in the next couple weeks leading up to their Super Showdown match. Be able to see Joe win, but this is fine with me as well. What they did here made both of them still looking strong. I just didn't want Joe to come out of this match looking weak because of how great they built him up, especially with the next part, the most recent part of this feud as well. But so we are going to get a stipulation at their Super Showdown match. That's just going to be no DQ, falls count anywhere. It could be a no holds barred match. They're teasing 1 and 2, but it wasn't made completely official which stipulation is going to be. But we know that these two are going to face off at the Super Showdown on October 6th, which I'm not really going to watch. But I may just catch a couple matches afterwards, see how they were. But yeah, so AJ Styles retains the championship, but he technically lost. He did tap out. So we'll see what happens next. As we say, night, night, AJ. Pretty much. I do the Wendy thing, but my throat's not, I Let me drink here first. I don't want to strain my voice. Plus, two, my parents trying to sleep too, so I don't want to be too loud, wake them up. But yeah, we got that match, which again was not bad. Slowed down a little bit, like the last few minutes, but it was still a pretty good match between these two. I definitely still enjoyed it. Live chat. Where were we at? They're going with it, Mike, and according to sources, it's a Paul Heyman idea, the Leo Rush thing. Really? Well, in that case, if it's a Paul Heyman idea, maybe it could work, because I actually do trust Paul Heyman's writing. Leo is a good talker. I do agree, Dakota. It's really unclear where they're going with the storyline, but it should end with an I Quit match. Interesting. AJ and Joe and an I Quit. I actually like that. And yep, the Mike of Mike returns. But yeah, here's where the show kind of like dipped a little bit in quality. Like the next match was okay, but I definitely expected better for what we got. Before the match, though, starts, we see Miz and Maurice backstage in an interview wearing similar outfits. Miz says they're going to turn Brian and Bree's PR stunt into a nightmare, and Maurice says Bree punched Miz knowing he wouldn't punch back, but she'll punch for him, and they call their opponents irrelevant losers. So we got the mixed tag match with Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella taking on the Miz and Maurice. Again, overall, this match was okay. I expected a little bit better. But the problem I had with this match, I felt like it just focused a little too much on Brie Bella and Maurice. Like, when Daniel Bryan was in there fighting with the Miz, it wasn't bad. But then I felt like, the parts were focused on Brie Bella and Maurice, which, Brie is still, rusty from still return to the ring. Maurice hasn't really been in the ring much at all over the past year. She's obviously, not in the best shape, I feel, in my opinion. So I feel like since it focused on them a little too much, it kind of took away from this match a little bit. Of course, things picked up though when Brie did tag in, and Maurice tried to hide behind the Miz, and Brie did start punching Miz in the face, and she did some nice baseball style in between Miz's legs to take out Maurice, and then start to slam her into the table. Eventually, though, Brie would get a pin on Maurice, but then the Miz would pull her off, and that sets Daniel Bryan off again. He literally cusses towards Miz, and then Miz and Maurice start doing start taking the it kicks or the yes kicks from Bryan and Brie, but then of course they duck from the kicks, and eventually Maurice gets some weird looking. It just looked weak. The weird looking roll up victory on Brie Bella. So I was surprised to see Miz and Maurice winners. I thought maybe Bryan and Brie would win, because I think this is going to be a really long-term feud. Because think about it, again, Miz and Bryan have a match coming up at the Super Showdown versus number one contenders match. I thought maybe since Miz won the first one, they give Bryan a little more momentum going forward as well. That way he isn't he's an underdog, whatnot. Because I really don't think Bryan's going to win that number one contention. I really thought it was going to be Miz. And that's where it can make a big turning point. But it looks like now that Bryan, could still win this match. Especially if they lost tonight. So, again, having Brie and Maurice take part in a decision was a little weird. So this match, I think, was a little bit of a letdown, but it wasn't completely terrible, I thought, at the same time. So, Miz and Maurice win. That's all I can really, say about that. Check in the live chat. I heard the Maurice and Miz win was a botch. Interesting. Larry didn't really like the match. The way Brie and Maurice are just awful. I understand why Brie is called botch mode by some. Yeah, and in their defense, neither of them have been in the ring in a while. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. They have been in the ring in a while, cut them a little bit slack. I get it. But if that's the case, then why were they they felt like they were the bigger focus, and Bryan and Miz were like the background, it felt, in this match, where it should have been the complete opposite. It should have been more focused on Bryan and Miz, and just Brie, standing up for him pretty much. And I felt like it was just too focused on the women, I felt, in my opinion. That's why I felt it hindered that match. But yeah, so we got that. And then this was the match I was least excited for. And I glad I set my expectations low. Ronda Rousey versus Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship. Again, here's the problem again I've had with the story. Okay, so I was fine with, the build to SummerSlam. At SummerSlam, though, Alexa didn't bring out, Mickey or Alicia, and there was no Natalia out there for Ronda. Of course, Mickey was injured at the time, but still, it's like the inconsistencies. Like, whenever Charlotte had Dana Brooke, one week she was out there, next week she was not there, next week she was out, and then she wasn't. I just understand why Alexa didn't bring them to the ring at the SummerSlam match. Like, did I miss something on the pre-show? Like, Alexa was told, oh, you can't bring them out. So my thing was this, okay, it was obvious that Alexa was going to get her rematch against Ronda Rousey for the championship. I get it. It was going to happen. But I honestly felt that if they were going to do this, they needed to have book the story way it makes Alexa look like she's more prepared for Ronda this time. And all they did was have Alexa kick Ronda in the ribs a couple times last week. All of a sudden, Alexa Bliss is now a big threat to Ronda Rousey. It's like Ronda Rousey beat the crap out of both Triple H and Stephanie McMahon at WrestleMania. She took some shots from Nia Jax at Money in the Bank, and you booked her to look so much more dominant over Alexa Bliss. It was short and sweet to the point, obviously, at SummerSlam. Like, it was obvious, we knew that, Alexa didn't stand a chance against Ronda. But just a couple rib shots is going to put down a former UFC champion. It's a big threat. Like, how many times they push back that Ronda has bad ribs in this match just pissed me off to no end. It's like, stop. You're making her literally look like a wimp by saying, by that stuff with the rib shots. This match went on for like 12 minutes. It didn't need to be that long. Like, Ronda didn't need to have this big comeback story because it didn't. I wasn't convinced at all that Alexa stood a chance at all. And then, of course, there was times where, feel like Alexa should have been, showing she was afraid of Ronda, but she wasn't. But then the same thing happened later on, and she was scared of her. Like, it was not a dynamic, but it was just something was off in the story. Like, they needed to tell like some type of more story to make us believe that Alexa could have had a chance to reclaim her title, not just a standard match. So it just didn't make sense to me. And to me, it's the reason why I thought this was my least favorite match of the night, because it just, I knew Ronda was going to retain. It was the most predictable one. But, yeah, so Ronda retains, but I just didn't like the story being told here. And hopefully, again, I like Alexa Bliss, but obviously she needs a break from the women's title picture for a while. Refresh her character, because if you put her right back in there, she's going to keep getting crapped on it, because it's going to make, her getting opportunities all the time more come true. But so Ronda retains at the story. Let's check the live chat again. Don't get me started with Alexa Bliss. Larry says, sorry, Alexa Bliss should have used the claw on the ribs. Exactly, could have used that too. Nia did get her rematch though at Extreme Rules. That's when she got her rematch, Cody. And Larry agrees. Awesome. All right. Moving on to that main event. Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman with Mick Foley as a special guest referee inside Hell in a Cell for the Universal Championship. Here's the thing. These two, and here's the thing I've also noticed. There's some guys like, Braun Strowman, Samoa Joe, Seth Rollins, a few others that Roman Reigns has had a great history of like having some great matches with. Then there comes to times like, Backlash or, other matches where, they need to make Roman win. And it's obvious that, if you can't book, your opponent to still look strong in the loss against Roman Reigns, like, Samoa Joe at Backlash, beating the Roman down like brutally. And then he goes on to just do rest holds the rest of the match. That's the only way to make, Roman look strong and come back. So, I worried they was going to go with that route at first. They started off pretty dominating. Strowman ripped the title from Roman's hands. They had some physical moments. But the moment that took me out of the match was when Mick Foley botched that 3 count. There was no doubt about it. He hit that mat the 3rd time. And I don't know if it was on purpose, but again, it's just a coincidence that something like that happens during a Roman Reigns match. And it does give us the bad taste with how much, I can't really trust the WWE and how badly they booked Roman Reigns this year that, how do I not know that they did that on purpose? That's me sounding a little senile and whatnot, but you never know. Then, of course, then the match starts slowing down. And then out came Ziggler and McIntyre. I don't know what they were doing out there. Then out came Rollins and Ambrose. They start brawling. And then Dolph Ziggler climbs up to the top of the cage. And this is shortly after Roman Reigns had speared. And keep on also, Roman kicked out of a power slam. Then Roman speared Braun through a table. Just one table, and that was it. And they sat down this for about 10, 15 minutes. It was about what was going on outside the ring. And Roman and Strowman are just laying inside the cell. While Ziggler randomly, I don't know why, crawls up to the top of the cell. And I don't get why. Rollins follows, then McIntyre, then Ambrose with a kendo stick. And they brawl a little bit up top. At first I thought, don't tell me that they're going to, pull off Mick Foley from 20 years ago, have one of them fall through the cell and whatnot. Again, it just felt like he knows it was Vince kissing our butts before he handed Strowman the loss, as Roman would beat him, which would have been bad because of how bad the match was going at this point. So keep this in mind. Again, well, there's a spot also where, Rollins and Ziggler, brawl on the side of the cage. They fell into the table. I don't know what the heck happened with Ambrose and McIntyre. They probably just chilled up on top the rest of the time. So again, at this point, Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman have been chilling inside the ring for about 10 to 15 minutes and had not gone up. From, I'm sure, a spear through a table is something I'm sure they both experienced how many times in their feud. So that shouldn't be the worst case scenario for them. When all of a sudden, out of the blue, here comes Brock Lesnar. And I'm like, what's he doing back? He comes out. He obviously has not shaved in weeks. He goes down, and then he kicks the cell door off the hinges. And Mick Foley comes out to restore order. Paul Heyman sprays Foley with pepper spray. And then Lesnar goes in. He hits Strowman and Roman with a couple pieces of wood from the broken table. And then he hits an F5 on Braun Strowman. Then he hits another F5 on Roman Reigns, who lands on top of Strowman. Okay. But then another referee comes out and claims neither of them are capable of continuing action. Therefore, this match ends in a no contest. Really? Really? At Backlash this year, we had Styles and Nakamura look like idiots, losing in a double count out based off of a low blow to each other in an ODQ match. That was stupid. This took the cake. Because again, first off, it's obvious. They were going, the WWE was back in the corner. They thought having Mick Foley there would, save the, would have the crowd wanting to see that. And of course, Braun at some point would probably disrespect Foley and they would hate Braun and they would think Braun was a hero. Obviously, they knew that was not going to work. Obviously, the Shield, the brawl with, Ziggler, McIntyre, Ambrose, and Rollins was just a kiss-up act again. So once again, the WWE knew that they couldn't have Strowman lose his match. The crowd would hijack. So they go even another worse. Here's the thing. The way they try to cover their butts with this whole Roman Reigns obsession just make things look even worse. Lesnar winning at WrestleMania 34 was a terrible idea. Bobby Lashley beating Roman Reigns and losing the following week, then going back to pretty much where he was before he feuded with Roman was a waste of time. So now you've got Brock Lesnar break into a steel cage after, again, the worst that had happened besides Roman taking a few, shots to the body with the steel steps. And then he spears Strowman through a table inside the cell. They were laying there for like 10 to 15 minutes. And you're telling me those two are not strong enough to take a couple shots to the back from a piece of wood from a table and one F5. Where Roman Reigns, I'm sure, had a more hellacious beatdown at WrestleMania 34, and he still kicked out of 5 F5s. And if Roman Reigns can kick out how many F5s, Braun Strowman can survive one F5. There's no doubt about it. There was no way you could have convinced me that neither one of them were capable of no longer competing in that match. It was just another way of WWE trying to protect Roman Reigns, and they were scared to have Braun Strowman lose. They knew we would hijack. But instead, it made both of them, it was a lose-lose situation for both. Because my question is does Strowman still have money in the bank? Since there was no contest. It wasn't an official decision. Not like in 2012 when it was a one-on-one match with Cena and Punk, and Big Show interfered, causing a DQ. There was no DQ. It was a no contest. They were not capable of continuing to compete. So does that mean Strowman failed his money in the bank cash in? Does this mean that, because there's another thing too. Next pay-per-view, Super Showdown, which I don't give a crap about at all. Roman and Strowman already have a match. The 6-man tag match they're supposed to be in. I don't think they're going to have a title match to Survivor Series. It's probably going to be another, champion versus champion match. This is a whole bragging rights thing. And at TLC, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the Shield and Ziggler, McIntyre, and Strowman in a TLC match, which is probably where Ambrose will turn, if not at the Royal Rumble. So what? We're going to have the rematch with, Roman, Strowman, and Lesnar at Royal Rumble? Think logically here. If Brock Lesnar wants his Universal title match that bad, his rematch that bad, he's going to show up one night and not show up again for months. And that makes absolutely no sense. And we all know Brock's not going to compete on Raw for an Universal title. I don't want to see him compete for a Universal title anytime soon. But the desperation just continues. Again, WWE in 2018 is so desperate because they know they hit the wall with the routes they can go with the Roman Reigns push, that it's just killing all their shows because of this obsession. When are they going to learn? But they're not going to learn. Tonight, both Roman and Strowman, in my opinion, lost. Because you made them look weak by having them lay around in the ring for 10 to 15 minutes just for Brock Lesnar to come out there and hit one F5 on each of them after hitting them with a couple woodboards. When earlier this year, Roman Reigns took a really more hellacious being also on an episode of Raw, and he walked out on his own. The week before, he barely took anything from Brock, and he got taken out on a stretcher. Where's the consistency here with selling these beatdowns? It was just, again, that second half, right? That mixed tag match on. The mixed tag match was average, good for what it was, but it definitely could have been a lot better than it was. The Raw Women's Championship match, again, was my worst match of the night. This, though, was, what was this? And, of course, they rush off of the air, of course, probably was like, oh, we don't want them to see this. We don't want them to get mad. Too late. We did. So I don't know what's going to happen next. I really don't know. But I really don't want that to completely kill that. I did still enjoy this show. This still was a fun show, especially those first 3 to 4 matches. And even 5 if you want to include the pre-show match. Because the pre-show match was pretty good, I thought, as well. Live chat. Let's get your thoughts before I give you my final grades and whatnot. Let's see here. What was that ending? Larry said, exactly. Very bad taste in the mouth. Not even the table spot impressed him. Nothing made sense once again. Bless you. Thank you. I agree. No more Brock. Super Showdown was going to be Braun versus Brock. If you want to do it, then fine. But they're already doing the 6-man tag match. Yeah, Bearded Brock was awful. Wasted cash in for Braun. Yeah, again, since there was no contest, not ending at DQ, does Braun still get his briefcase back? Does he? I don't know. That could have been wasted also. Cody says, meanwhile, Mankind gets thrown off the cell, and they didn't stop it. And in the same match, he was also put through to the top. Exactly. But once again, nope, Roman and Strowman are apparently wimps that can't finish a match. It's just sad how WWE changes all the rules randomly. It is. So true. Good point, Cody. Mick got pepper sprayed by Heyman. Like, we didn't see that before. Exactly. We've seen that how many times? Like they would give us something new or shocking with the pepper spray. No, they will never learn, Mike. That just made Mick look stupid. It did. Nice rant. Thank you. The saddest thing is there are people in this community who don't think that they're doing this for Roman. They do. They do it all for Roman. They love the sabotage. Yeah, it's the thing too. Also, it's not just they do anything for Roman, but they love to, like, you know, sabotage and troll at the same time. Like, it's that bad that, like, I could somewhat feel that 3 count that Foley made on Strowman was not a botch. Like, that was just a troll with us. And once again, is that going to make us feel, you know, hate Strowman more or build more sympathy on him? They finally got it right with Becky Lynch and Charlotte. Like, just keep the tension between the two of them and not having Becky, you know, bashing the crowd all the time. Well, just that 1 week, but they stopped that. And what happened? They had great build, and they had a great match tonight, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do next. Just awful. I could not believe that. But, guys, yeah, that is it. Again, I still enjoyed this show. Let's go to the polls on Twitter here. We got a lot of votes on these. 25 for my first poll, which is what grade would you give Hell in a Cell? 25 votes, 4% said A, 40% said B, 36% said C, and 20% said D or lower. And what was your match of the night at Hell in a Cell? My 3 choices I gave, besides the write-in, was Hardy versus Orton, the SmackDown Live Women's title match, the Raw tag titles, or again, other write-in. 23 votes, 5% said other than write-in, but they didn't, like, you know, tell me which one it was. 39% said Hardy and Orton, 30% said the Raw tag titles, and 26% said the SmackDown Live women's tag titles. My opinion, again, I still think the Hardy and Orton match is the best match of the night, and my grade for Hell in a Cell is a B-. It would have been a lot higher, but the quality of the show dipped a little bit in the second half, and that ending was just pathetic. That was just terrible. Why? A Hell in a Cell match ending in a no contest. You guys are that desperate to protect Roman Reigns and protect us from hating you guys, which in the end, we actually are more unhappy because you just did something completely ridiculous. Makes no sense. WWE is trolling us because of $2 billion contract with Fox. Exactly. Have all the money in the world, do whatever they want. I know they have the greatest time ever playing with us. They probably do. T.A. Couponer gives it a C+. T.A. Couponer voted for Hardy and Orton best one. Cody says, yeah, trying to get us to cheer for Roman by putting him with Seth and Dean. Exactly why I was upset when I reunited the Shield. If it was a Shield heel turn, then it would work. But nope. We had to hate Braun Strowman for wanting to, you know, prepare himself next time the Shield try to, you know, squash his opportunities again. Unreal. Unreal. Larry gives also a C+. That's the most pathetic thing. The Shield used to be the most badass stable. Exactly. Indeed. Roman and the Pound Puppies. Oh, God. But, guys, thank you again for joining in live, for watching my live reactions tonight on my channel and Dan's channel as well. If you didn't see them yet, make sure to check out those live reactions we did tonight. Make sure to also check out my live review. You also check out the one I did with Dan as well on his channel. So, guys, again, I hope, even though that ending sucked, hope you still enjoyed Hell in a Cell tonight. Again, I gave it a B-. My match tonight was Orton and Hardy. So if you're watching this live now, or, you know, watch us after it's live, what grade would you give Hell in a Cell 2018? What was your match tonight? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. As always, be sure to always click my like and subscribe or comment on the channel. Follow me on Twitter at DemandAirBody3. Also, if you haven't also seen it yet, check out my Undisputed Era unboxing t-shirt again. It's an early birthday present for myself. My birthday is this coming Saturday, as I will be 25. I look forward to that. Of course, I'll be, exact age of a quarter. Of course, this week will be Raw, SmackDown Live, 205 Live, and NXT reviews for sure on Wednesdays now because 205 Live is being moved to Wednesdays, which is awesome. Thursday will be my special live stream. Sure, a couple other odds and ends here and there as well. Shabbos 3000 continuing. And on my birthday on Saturday, I may play another old video game just for the heck of it. I haven't played in a long time. I may play just to make a small little Let's Play for my channel. So, guys, Larry, Robbie, TA Couponer, Cody, Royal, whatever your name was, I apologize, but all you guys, thanks again for tuning in for this live pay-per-view review. And also this week, I will work on my my Evolution match card as well for this week. So, guys, thanks for tuning in, but I gotta get to bed. I'm signing out. I'll see you guys all later. Have a great rest of your night. Sleep tight, everybody. Peace out.